You said, I like you, Celebi, but like your movies have problems. Let's talk about some of the stuff with this movie. You seem to, I remember you talking, like when you did movie 4, you said in like the comments thread when you did the movie 4 episode for your podcast, you said, I like you, Celebi, but like your movies have problems.
Yes, I did. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, I can pick some nits with this movie, I suppose. I mean, they're not super totally consistent about what Zoroark and Zoroark can and can't do, I suppose, or how their illusions work. But
right, yeah, it's not that this movie is so horrendously awful. Like, there are just little things about consistency, the pacing of the plot. There is a section of this movie where I felt like the energy just died, and very much in comparison to movie 4, where it's just like, there is a plot, we are kind of moving forward, we're having a lot of great character moments, but this is not a good movie. It is the same thing that I felt about Zora when I saw it. It was just, there were some really great moments and ideas, and then there were moments where everything just seemed to fall flat, or it seemed to come to a complete stop, so we could have the Team Rocket scene, so we could have the joke scene, and as you said, little inconsistencies about what can these characters do, and what are their motivations, and there was also a lot of side characters doing things that did not always seem super important. Like, we could have had maybe 2 or 3 characters instead of 5 doing all those things, especially considering that you also have to service Ash, Brock, and Dawn, and then Team Rocket's got to get in there, and then the bad guy and his secretary, and then those 2 other Bakker fans. Like, there's just a lot of, I just don't feel that this movie was structured for success. And it's not Celebi's fault.
I suppose so. I mean, like I said, yeah, it's definitely not awful. You've mentioned in your podcast that you think that there's like an A unit and a B unit and they alternate movies.
I almost wonder if there must be, because there's no way that they can consistently be like pretty amazing movie that's like tied together really well, and then this movie that just looks like it was a patch job. And yeah, when I look through the credits, like sometimes that suggests that I might not be entirely wrong on that, but who knows?
I suppose so. Yeah, no, this is actually, to be quite honest, this was my favorite of the TPCI dubbed movies until I Choose You, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. Huh. This is the one I enjoyed the most. Can't definitively say it's the best of, 9 through 19, but I think part of it was actually seeing it in the theaters. That always makes a Pokemon movie better.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, definitely Best Wishes had some clunkers in its time. But yeah, like I do want to caveat that, like, as I move forward and finally do like the Pikapi Podcast analysis on this, I may find my opinions changing a little. Because as I said, I've not lived with this movie as long as I've lived with some others that are also not perfect, but have since become my favorites, like movie 8. But I do feel that this was not one of the best that was ever done. Maybe it's just because Diamond and Pearl had one of the greatest Pokemon movies in movie 10, and it's hard to live up to that.
I suppose. I don't dislike movie 10, but I actually do like this one better for whatever reason.
Huh. All right.
And I think it finishes relatively strong, at least musically, with the stuff that it has at the end there. And I have noticed when playing video games and certain other types of media that if something has good music, I will inflate its score, or whatever you want to say in my mind, just a little bit.
Can I ask, what is it about this movie that, like, struck you? What is it about it that makes you love it?
I think I just like the Zoroark relationship for whatever reason. I think...
Oh, yeah?
The way they're attached to each other is just something we don't see. And I did notice, I think we see some of this in some of the other movies, but it seems like throughout the Crown City, or whatever it is, there are more like families of Pokemon in there, like not just a group of one species, but like an evolved form, and then several pre-evolutions of it around there. And I think that might have been a deliberate choice there.
Oh. And hey, yeah, maybe it was, what's that girl's name? Peg or whatever, and the other dude. Like, they were, like, had a family relationship too, didn't they? So, yeah, maybe there is a deliberate thing there that I just didn't appreciate at the time.
Yeah, you know, I'd strongly suggest you give this one another chance sometime, and maybe not in another, you just finished movie 6, so you got another, 7 years or so?
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Maybe get to it a little faster. Give it a watch.